of you know who Gerald Celente is. If you don't know who he is, he's a trends forecaster that basically has a history for decades now of forecasting future trends, future events. He's not somebody who predicts events, but he just looks at what's happening now, looks at trends, and taking a look at what's happening now, he says, okay, well, in the future, this is likely to happen. Some people love him, some people hate him. You know, he's very charismatic, and he really tells you how he feels. I do subscribe to his Trends Journal. I find it very informative. I really like it. Now, the reason I mentioned Gerald Celente is because I saw an interview that he did with Alex Jones a couple days ago, I think. Alex Jones is shooting a new video or a new documentary, Obama Deception 2, and Gerald Celente's in the movie. So Gerald Celente was talking about how he's recently, over the last year, has bought 3 historical homes in Kingston, New York. If you don't know, Kingston, New York used to be the basically state capital of New York. It was burned down by the British in 1777, I believe, and it had to be completely rebuilt. Within the last year, he's bought the Franz Rogan House, which was built in 1750. He purchased the Jansen House, which was built in 1773. And he also purchased a building that was called the Academy that was purchased in 1774. Now, if you go to cities like Kingston or even, Charleston, South Carolina, there's a ton of pre-revolutionary historic buildings that are amazing. And some that are just post-Revolutionary War that have a tremendous amount of history. For example, there's the Washington Hayward House, I believe it's called, in South Carolina. It's the home where George Washington stayed at for, I think, a week when he visited the South after winning the Revolutionary War. And once he was president, he wanted to go thank the South for their support in the Revolutionary War. This is where he stayed when he was on his trip through South Carolina. So the point of all this is that Gerald Celente is basically saying, well, he's buying these properties because he wants to preserve them. And he's also buying them because he wants to start the second American Revolution, not with violence or guns and bullets, but with, more of a philosophical, new kind of thought era, if you will, revolution, right? Where we confront and take on the global elite, global establishment through the ideas that we have, through spreading the word of liberty and freedom. I kind of would have to add that I think that the real reason, that could be the reasons he's buying these properties, but I think there's another reason. And the reason is that there is a global rush for hard assets, and Celente knows this. These properties didn't come cheap. He's likely put, I don't know his financial picture, but he's put, by buying these 3 properties, definitely a pretty decent amount of money into buying them and fixing them up. He's doing this because he knows, and he's even talked in his Trends Journal, that real estate, if you buy it correctly, buy it in certain areas, is a good investment right now. He's also a big believer in gold and silver, as am I. But I find it interesting that he is, in essence, putting his money where his mouth is. He has talked, as you know, if you've heard his work, dollar devaluation, the debt problems of the U.S. and the debt derivatives of the whole entire world, or really the West. And ways that people preserve their wealth historically, right, have been through buying things of tangible value, something that, is a hard asset. Real estate is a hard asset, like gold, like silver. The flip side of that, too, is in a global economic reset, gold will likely have a very big factor. It could back the new world reserve currency. But if you remember, after the hyperinflation of the Weimar Republic in Germany, they had hyperinflation. Then they came out with the Rentenmark, which was the new currency to try to basically create stability in the economy. Well, the Rentenmark wasn't backed by gold. It was backed by mortgages and real estate in all of, basically throughout Germany. And the way that people would, have some kind of collateral over that was that people had to pay taxes on this real estate and what have you. Well, in this situation, we have the federal government that in essence owns about 97% of every loan that's been issued over the last couple of years. They're being bought and guaranteed by the federal government. People ask, why are they doing that? Well, again, in the global economic reset that is coming, I don't know when it's coming, but I do know this. I know that people that have specialized knowledge in any asset class, any investment class, and that are preparing themselves now with the basic preparations will likely be not only the ones that survive and thrive, but likely be the new leaders of that new era, if you will, a post-US dollar world reserve currency world, if you will. But they're also not only getting that specialized knowledge, they're also putting their money into things that can preserve their wealth through these times. It's happened before in history. Gerald Celente, who talks about all the changes taking place, I believe is doing it, and he's a perfect example of how people in the know are preserving their wealth through, again, gold, real estate, you name it. Not just Celente, but I've talked about it for just, I don't know how many videos I've done on the subject matter. Billionaires around the world, some of the largest sovereign wealth funds in the world, the Chinese buying up Detroit, you name it, they're all getting into real estate in addition to gold and silver. Think you should know about it? I'm Fabian for Liberty. What do you think about this? Why is Gerald Celente buying these revolutions? Is it truly just to start the second American Revolution? Or is it because he understands the importance of preserving his wealth and he's doing it with hard assets in addition to gold and silver? Check out FabianForLiberty.com. Share these videos. If you enjoy them, please subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm out.